Okay, recording
Okay,
is on.
okay, we're back again on Inauguration Day, and it's the Trump Show. And with me to discuss the Trump inauguration and some other issues is Kule Williams, Lerato, Mustafa, and Said. You guys are
Yeah, I
welcome
don't
on
even have anything funny or clever to say, so we'll just jump into it. Except I saved my good shirt for today.
Yeah.
But I'm wearing shorts. Like the newscasters. Sometimes newscasters, there was one newscaster that have a suit on at the top, and he would just be wearing his. He would just be wearing his. Oh, it's cold. But the newscaster would be wearing boxers, but you don't know because you only see from the waist up. Oh yeah, they're showing. So
Because he's
the
wearing the
empire.
suit.
Hey, the emperor is here. Obama, Emperor Obama. But okay, let me keep it real. Let's keep it real. So I'll start off with this, then we'll go to Lorato. This whole thing is fake. What I mean that is fake. All of these people are a bunch of elite people that are rich, that are living well off of the misery of the world. All of them. Uh, I know. Saeed will disagree. I think Trump's hands are less dirty, but the fact that Trump is even an American businessman shows that one way or another he's living off of imperialism. But what I mean is that all these guys are like saying that, oh, we are honorable because we showed up to Trump's thing. We're good losers. But when Trump lost, he didn't show up. I like that passion that Trump has. Remember what Christ said in the Bible? You're too lukewarm. I'm going to spit you out. Trump is vindictive and petty. He didn't show up. That's just like Verstappen. He wants to win. And if he doesn't win, he becomes a brat. I think maybe the Democrats need to be that way and fight dirty and pass some bills that could work. Like they weren't able to defend abortion. They haven't been able to defend a lot of things. Biden gave a forgiveness for debt for people who take loans for college, and the Republicans fought him and put it back. So what I'm trying to say is that the Democrats might need to learn how to fight dirty, or fight. I won't call Trump dirty, but they need to learn how to get some balls and stand up and be men, or be women. The way Putin does, the way Xi does, the way Erdogan does. Who's the guy from Turkey? Larato Erdogan. Is that his name?
Erdogan.
Or the way the guy from Hungary who stood up to NATO and said, fuck you, NATO, we're not going to aggress against Russia. The U.S. needs that type of strong man, even though I think it's all moot because all these guys are like figureheads. But it's still not good for your perception to have a very passive leadership. And the point I'm going back to is that this is all a facade. They're all saying, oh, we're continuing the great American tradition of peaceful transition, when we know that this is nothing more like, when you look at it, this is modern day Rome. What you're looking at is modern day Rome. What do you think, Lorato?
Yeah. Actually, that's like a great image of a very Greco-romantic.
Yeah, even the architecture in DC, all of it is Roman.
Yeah. No, sure.
They called consuls, not presidents. Just like in Rome, they were called.
No, and then they even have the same name: Senate, Senator, Senate. It's a continuation of Rome, and it's an empire. But what you're seeing with Trump is not Trump; it's the forces of nature. The U.S. empire is over now. They got their last few bruises to Palestine. They got their last few bruises to Russia in the war. It's over, and now they have to address internal issues. I don't think Trump is going to be able to address them because he's going to cut spending, but he's not going to spend on social issues. But what you're seeing with Trump is a transition in which America now is an internal country. They're isolationists. That's the direction they're moving towards. What do you think, Lorato? Then we'll go to Kunle.
Yeah, there's a few interesting things. A few interesting things happening in the US in general in terms of what's happening on the ground. The awakening that is taking place amongst the people. Interestingly, I just saw an Instagram post from AOC not long ago.
Oh, AOC, I thought was a leftist. I thought she was
talking
a leftist.
about TikTok. And apparently TikTok is now back on, and then when you log back on to TikTok, it goes welcome back because of Donald Trump's efforts.
Thanks to Trump.
Thanks to Donald Trump's efforts.
Oh, this is a setup. That's why I'm saying this whole thing is rigged. Even before, because I went to my sister called me. She said, I don't have any TikTok. I laughed. I said, I'm a YouTube person. I don't give a shit about TikTok. But anyway, but I went up to TikTok. It was off. They said, but thanks to Trump, we'll be back up soon. Everybody's kissing his ass. So what it shows is that the power, because of Trump and Elon Musk and the tech money, that's where America is now.
So is TikTok actually down now? Is it actually down?
No, it's up. It's back up. It's back up. And here's what I'm saying.
How long did it go down for? I didn't even know. How long
it went down for one day? And I think they did that just to fuck with people. It's a mental control over people and a way to make Trump look good. But what I would say is that what's going to happen is that China is going to have to sell some shares to America. That's what this is really about. This is a corporate
shakedown. They're going to divest.
Yeah.
You
because
mean
it's a
Singapore?
corporate shakedown.
It's not Chinese. It's Singaporean, isn't it?
Or whatever. Yeah, but whatever.
Oh, it's Chinese. It's Chinese.
Yeah, it's Chinese. Yeah.
It's Singaporean. I remember they were interviewing
No,
him
it's,
and they kept explaining.
well, here's the thing,
over and over
Kool-Aid. Here are the facts, Kool-Aid. The U.S. says that China has too much stock shares. That's what they said. I'm not making this up. China is the parent-owned company, and it's a security risk. So they're now saying America has to buy the part of it that comes to America. So to me, this is a corporate shakedown, and this is in line with Trump's new style of politics, in which tariffs and corporate shakedowns rather than wars. What do you think, Larato?
Isn't there another there's another red something server that Chinese Americans want to talk to.
Red Notes.
On this one, China owns TikTok. Go ahead, Larato. What do you have to say? Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. So what has been happening? Yeah. Interestingly, is that before the TikTok ban took form, people started moving towards Lemon8 and Red Note. And what has been happening there is that I think what the banning of TikTok has done is that it has brought about an unconscious sort of class consciousness or an unintended kind of class consciousness where people of the same class between the two countries of China and America are communicating and exchanging ideas and seeing how life is on both sides. And now Americans are exposed to the idea that's actually communism or socialism is actually not that bad, or
TikTok, it's because of TikTok. My sister joked. She said she used to watch TikTok for the news because it's more viable than CNN or even Al Jazeera, because you now have independent people who are showing you what's happening around the world, in Palestine, everywhere. And that was a threat to the neoliberals, but now they're gone, so they can go to hell.
Yeah. So
we're in a new age. The kids will agenda. If we had gone, this is sad to say because kids won't protest for Palestine. If we had gone 1 week without TikTok, the American kids would have revolted and torn this country down. I'm not exaggerating. So they have power. It's just the problem is that it's through TikTok, it's chaos. So we don't have the political power yet where we come together and demand socialism. Yeah, thank you for that one. It was a lot of us, so we'll come back to you, Larato. What are your thoughts, Kunle?
Yeah, so I was trying to remember. So it was Red Note. Red Note is yet another Chinese going to come in. Now, but I agree with you. There is the threat of this freedom of information. You know, the first person they tried to stop was that chap back in the Iraq war. What's his name? The Australian one.
Oh, the one that they put in jail.
Yes, that was
Julian Assange.
Assange. That was the first time. That was a snippet of what social media can do when it steals the truth from
with WikiLeaks.
Yes,
WikiLeaks, and that's how we know that Hillary Clinton she had a cloned computer, and she was doing things behind the U.S. government. She could have been arrested for that, but she wasn't arrested. Go ahead. And WikiLeaks and that's why they went after her. Because
it's so important for Western governments to always depict themselves as, and whoever they are fighting as the bad guys. They say Muslims sleep with children, they kill, they steal, they're warlike. You know, they have to demonize whoever, and it's hard to do that and spread that misinformation when you have social media such as TikTok all over the place. It makes it very, very difficult. In fact, not impossible. If they've been exposed.
No, gone are the days. So what Larato said, unintended consequence. There's more freedom now of speech around the world because these kids. So what happens is now government, they're still going to be hegemonic, but they now have to respect at least some rights. And this is what Elon Musk represents. Elon Musk is pure libertarian craziness, but we still know that the poor will suffer. There will be no money for poor people. There will be no money for education, and they will still find ways to exploit Africans. But now they have to do it in a more covert way because this goes back. And the biggest thing when AfriStream was kicked off, because AfriStream was too powerful on YouTube, it was showing Africans what's going on. So now we Africans will still struggle, but in the Western world, these kids will have access. Very quickly to that, Larato, because you brought up that topic. Then we'll go to Saeed.
Yeah.
Man, we're
Yeah,
supposed to
I
be
think
talking about Trump. We're talking about geopolitics. I'm kidding. This is fun. Go ahead.
no, but I think what I was speaking about is that how then this kind of consciousness that is happening from like this Trumpian time period actually points to this idea that how the rich are flocking towards the person with power. Everybody's been.
And to be honest with you, his power comes from his bank, and his bank is Elon Musk. But Elon Musk is also a figurehead. There's somebody behind Elon Musk also. Sorry, continue.
Yeah. So how everyone is flocking towards the money,
tech industry.
Yeah. And also we saw in terms of the different kinds of reactions that people got when the healthcare CEO got killed.
Oh yeah,
and
I was
now,
against that though. I'm not going to stand for that killing people.
For sure. In
But
terms
people
of
are fed up. People are fed up, and also people. I won't lie. I also gave a middle finger to California, to all those millionaires losing their house. Everybody's is enjoying. So sorry to cut in front of you, but what you're pointing to is that French Revolution spirit that's beginning to come amongst the middle class, where we're tired of. I don't feel sorry for somebody in California losing a $2 million house. I don't feel sorry for them. In Hawaii, hundreds of people, maybe thousands, died in fire. Nobody talked about them. Sorry to cut in front of you, Lorato. Go back to your thing.
Yeah. But I think the capitalist sort of constant in that is that you had insurance companies cutting the insurance not so long before the fire.
Yeah. And they still do.
So now you're seeing how sort of corporate capitalism has been sort of protectionist against the people that it's meant to serve, because they always tell us it's meant to serve us. But
anybody who believes that,
I'm
I know you don't believe it.
Yeah, that's the marketing. That's the
Americans are naive. They're very naive. Yeah, they're naive.
Yeah, that's the marketing. That's the advertising, and also this question of like social media. What was that? They wanted to. I mean, algorithms keep you locked in within a loop of influence. Well, if you like Africa Stream, you'll see more Africa Stream, and you won't see anything outside of that disagrees with you. And I think the shock of Red Note is something that sort of awakened people to other things that are out there.
We
Trump
need to start going to these platforms, put our shows on those other platforms too. Yeah.
So now Trump is coming in as a president, and I just read a headline now that the Dow Jones just went up by 150 points.
Let me tell you something. I'm going to say it again. Whether Trump likes it or not, America still has to become socialist, because this tech bubble will eventually burst. China and Russia are busy building and trading commodities. America has to get back to that, or they have to spend trillions on education and have a total tech-based economy. But for America to have a tech-based economy, they're going to have to spend the money that they spend on military. They need to spend it on education. What do you think, Lorato? Quickly, then we'll go to Falabi. Then we'll go to Trump's number one fan, Saeed. Go ahead, Lorato.
So now all of these things are like coming to a head all at the same time.
These are the forces of nature, or the market forces. Go ahead.
Market forces, all of these things. And like you mentioned, the Palestinian ceasefire deal. But I think all of these things are sort of coming through to show us that whatever difference there's going to be, it's going to be very little difference.
But I think we might avert a nuclear war, though. We might avert a nuclear war, though, because of this. Because Biden was heading towards that. But I still think it was a controlled. So I think it's a controlled demolition. The powers that be would never let there be a nuclear war. They knew when they were going to end the Palestine genocide. So what I'm saying is that these people in power, they just scare us. And then what they'll do is they'll ramp it up again in 4 years. They'll ramp up the Palestinian thing again in 4 years. That's what they'll do. Thank you for that, Lorato. It seemed like this show, we could have thousands of different topics. This is very, and that's what's good about our show. like you were talking about algorithms. The algorithm can't figure us out. It's going to have to send our stuff out to everybody because we do everything. Mozambique, Trump, Nigeria, South Africa. No, we do everything. I'm serious. It's a very good. This show is very good. But yeah, Kunle, we'll get to you after. What are your thoughts, Saeed? I know Saeed's been waiting, and also it was Saeed's idea to start this show, the Trump show. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Everybody, Trump.
Saeed, I even wore a nice shirt today for Trump.
Trump.
Yeah.
To me, I'm very optimistic about him doing a lot of things because let me lie to you, if my own prediction about Trump is right, I want to believe that he's so popular right now is to become a martyr. Like he wants to become a legend in America. Like
I think because he's a narcissist, he wants to be remembered fondly. Yes, go ahead. Yeah.
So I think that's his aim right now, to become somebody that
Oh, I think he paused. Man, after this guy has a golden speech, he crashes.
Talk about for years, and he's going to try. Chosen a lot of all these people.
I think this guy's
want
out.
To showcase them. One of these become a president. So each of them will want to impress in their own capacity where they have been given.
Yeah, so you're breaking.
I believe I don't know if everybody here is has read the story that Nigeria has joined BRICS. So to me, what this means is that
the world is changing.
Is either Nigerian government, Tinubu government.
I just heard that, but let me. Can I say one thing? Okay, you guys, let me brag a little bit. Saeed, let me brag a little bit. Afolabi, haven't I been saying for 6 months that Nigeria is a de facto BRICS country? It's just that they've been hiding it.
Sure.
I've been saying it. So guys, you gotta look at the genius too. I'm also a narcissist. I'm joking, but no, Nigeria is de facto BRICS. But they're also still in dealings with France and the US, which goes to my point that joining BRICS right now does not mean you can't do other things. India also does other things too with the US. But it will get to a point where if the US says put sanctions on Russia and stuff, then you can't be part of BRICS anymore because that's hurting BRICS. You can't be part of it. You understand what I'm saying?
You get me? For now, from Trump's statement, he has said it that he is not saying anybody should not join BRICS. So, but if you are dealing with him, you have to deal with him fully. So I know Trump is going to find a way to disrupt that BRICS thing. And for my own prediction, I'm thinking Trump
eventually the USA will actually have to come and join BRICS.
Oh, I was going to say that. I've also said that. That's one of my predictions. Everybody, Kunle said it. And let me tell you why. They'll have no choice because the global economy is now business, and business is always going to be about commodities. And for America to survive, they're going to have a commodity-based thing. So yeah, but I see what you're saying though, Saeed, but I think Trump will learn quickly. But he won't even be the one. He'll be gone by the time U.S. joins BRICS. The market forces are more powerful than any human being. And for America to survive, it doesn't make sense for America not to be a commodities-based country. They have as much wheat as Russia. They have as much oil as any country in the world. It's just that they've been living as an empire off of other countries' resources, so their economy is in ruins. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. Thank you, Saeed.
I think that's another thing. That's another thing Trump is even saying to his fellow Americans that we don't even need majority of all these commodities we are buying from there.
No, the US has them already.
So he's playing his cards.
Yeah. No, he's doing okay, but I think that it's just like anything else. Like when you're trying to fix a car, you have a prototype, but then you have to adjust it. So what Trump has now is a naive model, which is going to have to change. But he's not even the one behind the model. It's the people behind him, the banks. The U.S. banks now realize that they have to change their... So gone are the days, like I said, gone are the days of let's go and bomb Iraq and make money because it doesn't help the whole country. And there's going to be a revolt, kind of like what Lorato said. People are now mad about healthcare and those things. Brilliant show, brilliant point by Lorato and Saeed. What are your thoughts, Afolabi? Then we'll go to Kunle. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Trump will adopt a nuanced approach towards BRICS. He won't necessarily impose sanctions on them to hurt them. I think he will make some members of BRICS friends, the weaker members, and enter into trade ties with those members. It will be a kind of compromise because, like you rightly mentioned, BRICS is going to be useful for America. I foresee them joining them in the future. And then back to the TikTok thing, I think a divestment of assets is what Trump wants. Much like what, because TikTok is very influential.
Sorry, the Italian guy is singing. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so TikTok is very influential, and a lot of
It looks like
Americans are
Loretta, it looks
subscribed.
like Mussolini.
Oh yeah,
I'm just joking. Go ahead.
a lot of
Sorry, go
Americans
ahead.
are
Yeah.
a lot of Americans are subscribed to TikTok. So I feel I want them to divest some of their assets so that they can relinquish their control, because they're becoming too influential. And when it comes to data protection, because it's Chinese owned, the US is a bit, they don't want data infiltration.
Yeah, but
So
I
basically,
think probably you're more objective than me. I'm pessimistic. They're not worried about China. They just want a piece of the market. That's all. They just want a piece
of the
that's
pie.
what, for example, they banned Huawei phones in the US. They say it's because of technology, it's because of spying. No, it's because they don't want Japanese phones
competition for
to have
Apple
competition.
products.
Yeah, but Huawei is the number one phone all over the world. So things are changing. And now America's going to have to step up and fight China a tech war with them, which means they're going to have to spend money on education. If they don't, they're going to fall behind. Thank you. What are your thoughts, Kunle? Yeah.
I think Donald Trump is a complete master of evasion and chaos and confusion, because
probably
I hate China. Do you know that virtually every single piece of memorabilia that you get from Donald Trump is made in China? Everything.
This hat is made in China.
It's that hat's made in China. All his stuff is made in China, except
let me look at it. Continue. Yeah, they don't put it there, but I'm sure
one thing that Donald Trump has that is not.
No, it's made in Singapore, Taiwan. I'm sure.
I was going to say, apart from China, there's one other country that he has that his stuff is made from, and it's
Kunle is breaking. Okay, we're going to move on. I'm going to disagree with Kunle. Trump's hat is made by American prisoners, free labor. American prisoners make his hat. What are your thoughts?
China is made in China.
Lorato.
It's China.
I'm just being funny. Kunle is broken. So
it's China. Can you hear me now?
Put Kunle on mute for a second, Falabi. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Loretta. Okay,
sure,
Kunle. Try again, Kunle. Try again. Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Kunle, we'll come back to you afterwards. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, we can hear you, but let's go to Lorato, then we'll come back to you, because Lorato is about to jump in. What were you going to say, Lorato? Yeah.
Oh, no. Yeah, no. I think I wanted to expand on also then what the Trump era is looking like. So now, just to wrap up the social media thing, we're seeing almost all social media platforms are leaning towards like a Trumpian outlook. You know, we had Zuckerberg a couple of days ago come out and say something like they're gonna stop fact checking in the way that they've been doing it, and so on and so forth. You have Musk at Twitter, and then you now have this TikTok thing. So these are the three most influential social media platforms that are actually leaning towards them. So in terms of like the information war, and sort of like information and data warfare.
But I'm glad for this, because war has to stop. All this physical war has to stop, man. It's too much, you know. But there'll still be people who will still be dying, but it's going to be more covert. People will still be dying from hunger and drugs and stuff. But at least we don't have the spectacle of war. You get my point? Yeah. That's the problem. But also, this is more dangerous. The new genocide is going to be more dangerous, because people will be dying from hunger, from poor healthcare, and it won't be visible. So we won't know that we're having an epidemic. Like, we don't know that in America, more people die in America from opiates than died in the whole Vietnam War. More people die every year. But there's no alarm, because nobody's looking at it. Americans are using drugs because they're depressed, and because a lot of them take painkillers from the streets because they can't afford health care. So it's killing off 100,000 Americans every year. That's a big number, but it looks more spectacular if you say, 2,000 Americans died in September 11th, but 100,000 Americans dying is more Americans dying. It's just that it's not spectacular. What do you think, Lorato?
Yeah. So I think those are the great dangers in terms of like the social constructs that I think have been making America the great country that a lot of people say it is. You know, because of these like school lunches and things things that were school lunches and some of these educational programs healthcare programs were things that were part of the Black Panther Party.
Trump has already said it. He's cutting diversity, and I'm going to go to you, Lerato. Sorry. I'll let you continue, Lerato. But Trump is going to end all these diversity initiatives. The money is gone. Continue. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This
idea.
Comment on that. Yeah. What are you going to say, Lerato?
Yeah. This idea of doing away with like DEI initiatives is also, I think, it's a little bit misplaced, but it's a right-wing thing, and because Trump has to pander to the right wing, so that the right wing lets him.
The first thing they should be cutting is military spending, but they will never do that. Yeah. All right, thank you. So it's because there's so many of us, so we'll move on. Kunle quickly, then we'll go to Saeed, because I know Saeed has a point he wants to make too.
I'd let Saeed to make his point. I'll come back.
Oh, okay, Saeed, go ahead.
Yeah. So I think like what Lerato said, there are a lot of things that we all know that Trump is going to definitely do. The woke ideology, the DEI, the transgender, this thing. So he's really going to go hard on them. And again, there is this comment AOC she made, is it yesterday or which day that
said, we'll go back to that with you.
Not going to attend the inauguration. Trump is a rapist. If I happen to be Trump right now, I will sue her because there is no evidence pointing that Trump is a rapist. How can a lawmaker with a ranking be saying such that Trump is a rapist? They've still not learned. This is the reason why they even lost woefully in that last election, still thinking that people are so dumb to that point. And
I'm surprised they see.
All of them have something to hide that is bad enough that they.
I want to add one thing, which is in line with what Kunle says before I go to Kunle. So let me add this: Biden's daughter is a drug addict. I'm not trying to talk bad about her. She was a drug addict, and in her drug therapy, she wrote in her diary that she used to take baths with Biden. I'm not making this up. We're not saying that Biden raped her, but it's weird that you're taking a shower with your daughter when she's 13 years old. So the point I'm making is that all of these guys have dirty secrets. Biden took baths with his daughter. His son is a crack addict. I'm not saying Biden's a bad person, but obviously there's trauma within his family. His son is a crack addict. His son just got charged for using cocaine and carrying guns around. Biden refuses to recognize his granddaughter because I'm not calling her a bastard, but she was born out of wedlock with what's his name, Hunter Biden. So he doesn't even on his birthday he says, I love all my children. He puts his name. He doesn't put his granddaughter's name there. So what I'm saying is that they choose who they want to look at. Then we can talk about that guy who killed himself in jail. What was that Jewish guy that was
Epstein
running 17-year-olds as prostitutes? You know what I'm talking about? Rossi. Trump wasn't there. Clinton was there on those planes. All of these liberal guys were there. Obama wasn't there. They were there. Prince Andrew there, sleeping with 17-year-old kids, prostitution all over the world. And all of a sudden, that guy hung himself in jail. So the point you're making, Saeed, and what you guys are saying is true. The double standard, she's calling Trump a rapist. Why can't she say we need to have accountability for all those young girls who were sex trafficked?
Exactly.
Oh, yeah, but they'll go after Diddy. Diddy's black. Diddy, trust me, I'm against Diddy too. I'm against Diddy. But they need to be, Diddy is doing bad, but also all of these leaders were doing it. Kunle, continue. Sorry. Yeah.
If you remove any of these politicians' pants, all of them, it will be smelling.
They're dirty. They're all dirty.
Without exception, they're all dirty. It's just if they step out of line, that's when you find out if they're dirty. Because
maybe Obama is clean. Obama looks like he doesn't have time for women.
Obama has something, man.
I know. Obama is quiet.
Now,
very quiet guy.
Some kind of delinquent behavior in his history, because I know he's done something dumb.
Obama is smooth. The rumor I heard of Obama is that he used to date a white girl. He was a Buddhist, and he used to meditate. And he told her he likes white women, but one day he's going to be president, so he has to marry somebody who's dark skinned. That's what they say. And so he married what's her name because she's very black and dark skinned, and it gives him credibility. He doesn't love. The rumor is that he doesn't even like her, Michelle, but he married her because he needed to have a black woman who also has a history of standing up for civil rights. But we're going on a detour now, though. Sorry, continue. Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to this new Trumpian era. It's going to be full of surprises. I can assure you that it's going to be full of surprises.
Yeah, and here's what I think the big. Yeah, go ahead. Continue. Sorry. Yeah.
Okay. So and let's wait and see. Let's wait and see.
Yeah. So
go on.
Oh yeah. So my thing is that whatever surprises come is not because it's Trump, it's because of the forces of nature. The world is changing. And like you said, and we'll go to Falabi now, the world is changing. What will happen is Trump will take credit for the changes, but inevitable change is coming because we can't continue with this model. The whole world will be destroyed, which is why you're seeing China. 10 years ago, China and Russia were enemies, but they became friends because of the US. 15 years ago, Putin wanted to be part of NATO, but the US said, get out. So when you look at history, history is bigger than the actors. Is bringing about the next wall of Babylon, where the world comes together. Something will break it down again. The world will come together in trade and BRICS. On that note, let's go to Afolabi, and let's talk more about the Nigeria joining BRICS and the point I just made. Yeah.
I think it's a good thing. BRICS is more liberal. They are not as imperialist as the other trade organizations we belong to. I believe it's going to help us, but we should maintain a balanced kind of view. But by and large, our problem is still corruption, regardless of who we join. At the end of the day, you and I, we're not going to be better for it. That's just the sad part.
Yeah,
really.
I think BRICS is good for the world because now commodities will be cheaper. And in Africa, we can now buy products. And also, if we can take control of our natural resources, we don't need to deal with the dollar anymore. I think that's the best thing about BRICS is that now the value of your money will be based on your commodities. Whereas before, it was based on the dollar because the dollar takes your commodities. Let's go to Kunle, and then we'll go to Saeed. Then we'll end with Lerato. Yeah.
My other fear is I hope that BRICS and the Sahel will be able to tame Tinubu and his ex by the Western governments in the northern part of Nigeria.
I'm looking forward to that too.
Trump would tame Tinubu. Trump would tame Tinubu.
I'm very curious. I'm very curious how that's going to play out because I don't think Tinubu should like BRICS. I think we're joining BRICS in spite of Tinubu. I don't think
he has no choice. Sorry to cut in front of you for the last time, Kunle.
It's bigger than
if the forces of nature are bigger than any one person. If Tinubu doesn't go to BRICS, his head will be cut off. Continue.
Yes, it's bigger than him. It's a general movement of the global South to have a fair say on the international world, on the international politics, not just politics, but laws. Because I mean, now with this, the idea that the United Kingdom or the United States can say they're protecting their interests by having an aircraft carrier in the Black Sea, 3,000 miles away from their country, then you realize that you don't have the right to do that because that's not your country. You don't have the right to.
It's encroachment.
Encroachment
of sovereignty.
If they want to put sanctions, they have the right to put sanctions. It's their country. If I want to put sanctions on someone, I have the right. You can't say I'm going to bomb because you can't put sanctions because it's going to make it harder for my Amazon package to get to where it needs to go on time. You don't have the right.
No.
Those trampling on other rights. It's going to be a leveling. There will be
and
a
that's
leveling.
Why I'm saying the Trump inauguration marked the beginning of the end of American hegemony. It's over. American hegemony is over. What are your thoughts, Saeed? Then we'll go to Lerato. Thank you, Kunle.
Yeah, so I quite agree with what Mr. Kunle said. I'm looking forward to how the American government is going to respond to this Tinubu government in joining BRICS. And we all know that it's a CIA asset. So definitely they want to see where he stands. And we all know that Trump is not even a fan of all these corrupt African presidents. He doesn't need their money. And the way he's going, he's looking like he doesn't need furthermore resources from Africa. He wants to.
Well, don't forget about Congo. But Lerato will answer that after you finish. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
So I think he's trying to explore their own resources too. So I think doing that, he wouldn't even give too much F about African leaders and our resources. So, and like me, I will suggest or wish, I will expect our own opposition parties here in Nigeria, the likes of Peter Obi and Showore or whatever it is, to pally up with the incoming US government of Trump to see if there is a way they can shake Tinubu illegitimate election and presidency So I'm actually looking forward to it. I can't wait. I really
actually,
want to see
so what
what's
happens is
They
Tinubu,
should just leave us. They should just leave us alone. The more they leave us, the better for us.
I
Because
think
then
Trump would do that.
and Boko Haram
This
down
is
here.
a good debate here. I think Trump would do that, and here's why: Trump is not a CIA man. CIA owns Tinubu. CIA and FBI have also lost their power with Trump stepping in now.
No, but there's
Gone
a
are the
change in
days.
power. That's what I'm saying. There's a change
Because
in
here's
power
the
in
thing.
all the government.
Because here's the thing: CIA
parastatals
was the facilitator of the American empire. We don't need the CIA anymore. It will still be there, but it's going to be diminished. Trump is an isolationist. He will work around these issues, even the issues of the Congo. Well, I think that's the only place that America will still be interested in. But I think what's going to happen, America is going to have to join BRICS, and they're going to have to start manufacturing goods and using their own commodities. What do you think, Lorato? Even if they want to go to other countries, they can't do it anymore. And once Congo and these countries join BRICS, it's going to be competition. So if America wants, they're going to have to pump money, like the Lobito corridor. They're going to have to pump in money, but it's over now. They're actually going to have to enter into fair trade with African countries. But America does not really need African resources. Europe needs them because America has resources. What do you think, Lorato?
I think they're going to need some resources.
But those African countries need resources too. So that's why I'm saying there's going to be a fair balance of trade. The U.S. has silicone, they have uranium, they have oil. So what I'm saying is that, like everywhere else in the world, China needs resources. There's demand, but now you have to enter fair trade. You get what I'm saying? But Europe can't even survive off of fair trade. Do you see what I'm saying? Because they don't have anything.
No. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
So because I know this whole tech industry is based off of the resources that are coming from the Congo, which is what I was going to say, and this is why we are seeing this Lobito corridor being spoken about and being planned and being proposed and funded, because they need to get those resources over the Atlantic in the same way that they did the human resources.
And I'm sorry to jump in. I'm pretty sure China is investing in it too. So all of these countries are investing in that Lobito thing. Go ahead. Yeah.
But I do think, in as much as I want to be sort of nonchalant about this Trumpian period, I'm also sort of like cautious about some of the statements that he makes that have great effect on either the economy and things like that. I mean, things that he said, like making Canada the 51st state and Greenland possibly the 52nd.
Okay. Yeah.
Or whatever.
Well, here's the thing.
And of course,
go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, but of course, when he makes some of these utterances, he doesn't have any sort of like pushback from his own party, because
America is a hegemonic country. But here's one point I wanted to say, Lorato. He's telling the truth. Canada is an American state. When America says, show us where Palestinian children are hiding, it's Canada and Australia that give the logistical support to help Israel. Canada is an American vassal. Britain is an American vassal. The only country that's not an American vassal is France. So let's tell the truth. Germany is an American vassal. They destroyed their own economy to please America. So all Trump is doing is saying the truth. Canada is an American vassal because the Canadian economy is still bolstered by the U.S. dollar, because it's part of the West. It's the Western Empire. So let's go back to the Roman Empire. So let's go back to the Roman Empire. The Roman Empire, under the Roman Empire, Spain was part of the Roman Empire. Italy or Spain, all of those areas, Morocco, Algeria, it was all part of it. So my argument is that de facto Canada is part of the U.S. empire. Britain and the U.S. are equals. Australia, part of the U.S. empire. Germany is the U.S.'s biggest slave. That's what World War II was about, was to destroy Germany's economy and bring in Germans to build up America. Am I wrong, Lorato? Canada is an American vassal. Canada is not a sovereign country. They went along with all the sanctions on Russia. They do everything America tells them to do. Well, what do you think?
Yeah. I think what sort of seems problematic with this kind of like entire outlook, is that what happens is that the power base is then removed from the populace, which is actually what this democracy sort of hoax is. Basically, it's like the power base is removed from the popular movements.
I would
and
actually argue that Trump is the opposite. He's a populist, and he's actually in power now because he has the mandate of the Americans. And this goes to show you what America is. Americans are cool with their president saying that Canada is part of their country because Americans believe that the whole world is their playground.
Sure.
That's my argument, but maybe I'm wrong. Americans want us to continue fighting Russia. They want us to fight China. They want us to go into a war with China and Russia because Americans are ego. They're like, we're men. They're very machoistic. So I think Americans are sadistic, they're maso-sadistic. They actually would rather the world suffer so that they can kill people. That's what I believe. Maybe I'm wrong. What do you think, Lorato?
Yeah,
I think Americans like control. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you could be correct in terms of their mind state, because I think this idea of the dark narcissistic personality that
America has, a country that was founded on killing off Native Americans and then using black people. And they killed more than 100 million black people, 10 million crossing the Atlantic Ocean. So they've built up too much spiritual evil, and it's in their blood, it's in their DNA. Yeah, that's what I believe.
Yeah, and I think Trump is like the perfect reflection of what Americans think and believe, right?
But here's the thing: he's less violent than Obama. He's less violent.
Yeah, but
he doesn't have the same body count that the presidents before him had.
But what I'm saying is just like the general power basis in terms of global politics is continually being divorced.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Yeah, but if I were Canada, I'd be worried. But if I were Nigeria, I wouldn't be worried. So America's hegemony will only be within the reach of Mexico and Canada now. That's not our problem. We're African. We don't care. Why should we care? What do you think, Lorato?
Yeah. But I mean, I say this in light of something like Palestine. The general populace has been wanting a ceasefire for the past 2 years.
But that's not Trump, though. That was Biden who did that. Yeah.
No, that was Trump. That was Trump's envoy. That you're going to find out the truth about that when he steps in. It wasn't Biden. I thought it was Biden too.
Maybe.
They said that if they continue the war, they're not going to give them any more weapons. That they may not give them any more weapons.
Here's the thing. So Trump is now saying that there's a ceasefire. Trump says he's going to continue giving weapons to Israel. So to me, that's a bribe.
He said that publicly, but privately, he said they won't.
Yeah, but here's what I think Trump is doing. He's bribing Israel. He's like, okay, you have to stop killing Palestinians, but we will still make sure that there's not a two-state solution, and we will still make sure that you get money. Because the money that they're going to be giving to Israel now is not going to be to kill Palestinians. It's just going to be making weapons manufacturers rich. Do you see what I'm saying? So that scheme will continue, but they just have to. It's even better because now you don't have to spend money on bombs. You can just put the money in your war chest and say, we're saving it for bombs. You don't have, because every time you spend money on bombs, you're cutting your profit margin. So now the profit margin will be higher because there's no war, but they'll be spending money on war materials. You see what I'm saying, Kunle?
Yeah, they spent a lot of money on this war already, and the economy is tanking if they keep spending. And Trump wants to show his economy is improving. Giving money to Israel to buy weapons is not going to work in the plan of trying to do that.
Well, there'll be a cap.
Ukraine,
so here's my prediction. Here's my prediction. The U.S. every year gives Israel $30 billion. That will continue forever. They'll get that much.
Yeah, he's also going to get the popularity of the minorities and the global South Americans. That's the Muslim Americans, the Arab Americans will be like, hey, this guy ended the war there. He's going to get a lot of popularity against Democrats.
So Lorato, you see what's happening,
and he's making money by just being lazy.
Yeah, we'll go to Said, but I'll go to Lorato quick. So you see what's happening now. Donald Trump will come to presidency with everything off the plate. He doesn't have the Israel problem anymore. He doesn't have the Ukraine problem. And now it makes the liberals look like stupid fools.
He has the Palestinian son-in-law. Trump has the Palestinian son-in-law.
No, but what I'm saying is that at least the bombing has stopped. Palestinians aren't dying, and they're marching back into their towns. And also, Trump is going to make money off of the rebuilding of Palestine. So I'm not saying he's a good person. I'm saying that this is like some cynical politics. Very quickly, Lorato, then we'll go to Said.
I think I agree with you on the cynicism, which is what my point is that it's just like power play, without real concern for serving people.
Oh no, they don't.
Just
They
like
don't. They don't. Yeah.
just like you mentioned in terms of social program being put off, of the American budget and all those things. So these are the issues that concern me in general in terms of the social well-being of people in the States, and by extension the social well-beings of people throughout the world when
And
that
that's our
economy
job.
tanks.
That's up to the kids. That's the world is not going to change unless there's a socialist revolution all over the whole world. It can't be one place. That's why I have my eye on France. France has youths who are well trained in who have a history and a feeling of revolution and change. Britain doesn't. The US doesn't. South Africa does. China does. Russia is sort of in between. Russia is becoming an oligarchy, but they still have the Communist Party, and Russia still has power. So what I'm saying is there needs to be a massive revolution of young people, and that won't come until things get really bad. What do you think, Lorato?
I think the Trump presidency might drive us there. That's what I'm saying.
Well, that's how history works, because the Democrats they're not fascist. They're imperialist. Trump is more fascist, but we all know that the next synthesis from fascism will be a liberation movement. And my argument is that
I think the liberals are just as fascist. It's just they covert about.
Well, you know that
they
imperialism
about it. They
smile
smile
is a function of imperialism.
They smile about it. They put a black man in power.
The Democrats you're right. They're fascist. It's just that Trump, because he appears to be a totalitarian, but you're right. They're just as fascist. And in fact, the Democrats are worse because they're fascist and imperialistic. The Republicans are imperialistic, but they're following their base, which is farmers all over the rednecks. Rednecks don't care about imperialism. They care about what's going on in the country. So what you will see in the U.S. is a right-wing movement more towards racism, kicking out foreigners and telling black people that you're lazy. That's what's going to happen with Trump. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. And I'm also predicting that crime in America will drop. You'll see less black people killing each other on the streets because they'll be in jail. So what Trump will do is he's going to bring in law and order. He's going to put every black guy in jail, all these gang members and stuff, rather than pump money into those neighborhoods and pump money into the schools to raise black kids who are productive for the economy. What he'll do is, to solve the problem, put them all in jail. What do you think, Saeed?
Saeed is muted. He's muted.
For the first time.
That's going to be rather difficult in the world of technology. It's going to be very difficult.
To do what?
You can't get away with that sort of thing in the modern world where everybody has got phones.
Here's the problem. But Kunle, the world allowed 200,000 Palestinians to die. Let me tell you the problem with America and the West. If it's not happening in their own backyard, they don't care. So, and there's one group of people that nobody cares about. Nobody cares about African-American males. Nobody in the world cares about African-American males. They're killing each other at record levels. And I don't see anybody in the world crying. Nobody. Am I wrong, Lorato?
They don't have a voice.
They do have a voice. Kanye West, Jay-Z.
That's not a voice. That's
their voice. So Kunle, this is what I'm telling you.
Monkeys and circus actors.
That's their voice. That's the sad thing. That's their voice. Hip hop culture is powerful all over the world, and our representatives, our black leaders, are pedophiles and gangsters. That's the voice. They're the richest. Jay-Z is one of the richest black people in the world. Oprah Winfrey. So this is the voice of African America. It's just that it's a wretched voice. What do you think, Lorato? No, but the entertainment is driving the whole black economy around America and the world is based on entertainment. That's what's sad. Our leaders are entertainers. Even the president of the U.S. is an entertainer. That's what's sad. Yeah. There's no more activists. And name one activist today. I can name activists from the past. Martin Luther King, Lech Walesa from Poland.
Jesse Jackson, is he still alive?
No, Jesse Jackson is irrelevant. He's a sellout. So what I'm saying is that there's no real leader in the world right now. Nobody. I'm talking about Putin is a businessman. There's no activist who's fighting for humanity on this planet right now who has a voice. Yeah. I mean, there are people like us, but there's nobody who has influence. We can't name one person. Can you name one person, Lorato? I would even argue that you find them in South Africa, maybe.
What
like
about
Malema.
Farrakhan?
Yeah,
Farrakhan killed. Let me tell you something. Farrakhan killed Malcolm X, and is supported by the. He's supported by the FBI. The CIA they let him do what he does because his words are hollow. He's a CIA implant. He killed Malcolm X. I'll never forgive him. He killed Malcolm X. What do you think, Lorato?
Yeah. But I think we have to give credit to people like Traore and General.
Oh yeah, you're right. So sorry, you're right. And these are the voices. But this goes back to my original statement, which is that nobody cares about what's happening to African Americans. And I'll tell you why. Because they're living right in the middle of the white empire. I don't think it's tenable for Black people to live in settler nations. I don't think it's because South Africa also has problems. African Americans are doomed because they are living they're in enemy territory. At least in Africa, we still have our soil. We're not settled by other people. The African American is in a bad position.
Welcome
The African American. That's why I always tell people there's no such thing as an American citizen. You know why I say that, a Black American citizen? Because by definition, America is anti-Black. So if you're Black in America, you're not an American citizen. You're just Black in America. That's my argument. What do you think, Lorato?
Yeah. So I was saying people like Assimi Goïta, General Tiami and Traore are charting the path of what it looks like.
The only problem I have with them is that they're still trained by Russia. They're educated and trained by the Russians.
Yeah.
We now have to do our own. We have to do our own education and start to bring in Ubuntu and start to bring in our animism, our spirituality systems into our political systems too, which China and Russia will not get us to bring. Because until we go back to animism, until we go back to voodoo or to whatever you call it, all voodoo is not magic. It's a holistic look at the universe and the cosmos and nature. Until we go back to those roots, we're going to be in trouble. Quickly, your thoughts, then we'll go to Saeed Lorato.
Yeah. And then I think closer to home for me is Botswana. Which is, I think, also looking like
with their philosopher president. Yeah.
Which I think, Duma Boko as he and like.
So
like
these are our
saying,
leaders, and we need to start talking more about them because then the West will not talk.
And like you're saying, he's referred to in Botswana as Tautona, not just president, because they adhere to principles of Setswana, of calling him
their spiritual system.
Exactly. So they have a principle, and you don't have a kind of like violent rhetoric that's attached to him. He's not a militaristic.
No, it's cerebral and spiritual. Yeah.
Exactly.
For example, Nigeria needs someone like a Fela-like figure. Although Fela was an egomaniac, but we need to go back to that sort of primal energy. Sorry, continue.
Yeah. So I think once you enter sort of like a mind state and a philosophical, not so much idealist, but humanist era, like we've been saying, you'll find more people like Duma Boko. And
they're cerebral, theoretical, but they're also practical. Yeah.
Sure. And the problem is that when you say that no one cares, I think it's that no one within the power structure cares.
Okay, but do you think that these guys like Traore and those guys, I don't think they care about African Americans. And I'm not even they shouldn't, because African Americans are also white supremacists. They believe they're better than Africans because they're American. So they also have a problem. So what I'm saying, there's a disconnect. Africans who live in Jamaica and America are totally disconnected from the continent. Not Brazil or Haiti. Brazilians and Haitians still have their African culture. But in America, the Black American has no affinity towards. So I don't blame Africans for not caring about African Americans because they're so far removed. And that's what the victory of white supremacy was, that it fractured the Black world. What do you think, Lorato?
But I think the problem is that people within the power structure do not care enough to do anything about it. So where people without power care, where you can have 20 billion people posting Black Lives Matter and hashtags.
They just have to do it themselves.
I think what you're bringing up, I call it the problem of the egg or the chicken, because I believe that what happens at the top is a result of the cultural system. So it rises to the top. So I go the other way. We don't have a culture which is producing leaders. So I think we rely too much on leaders as if there's somebody we're supposed to follow. We don't have enough activists on the ground. Think about it. The average Nigerian is either Christian or Muslim, and they speak English and they believe in democracy. They don't even have African values anymore. You understand what I'm saying? At a deep level, they have African values, like you speak Yoruba or you speak Igbo, but they still believe that the West is the paradigm. And when you say the word voodoo, I had to apologize for saying juju, because in Nigeria, that thing is considered to be witchcraft. So your own people see your spiritual systems as witchcraft. That means you're owned by Muslims and Christians. What do you think, Lerato?
Yeah, no, for sure. I agree with that sort of like the spiritual outlook being misplaced, with the masses not being well informed enough in order to craft from themselves leaders that can, which is why we're seeing someone like Donald Trump rise to the top, because he's already been.
I'll agree with you. And go ahead.
Yeah. He's been one of the most visible people in the past 40 years in the US.
So here's the problem.
And it becomes easy for him to sort of harness power from
and we were talking about this yesterday. I've forgotten who was talking about it. I think it was one of us. And we were saying that what the world needs now is community leaders. And then they go to the leaders at the top. We don't have community leaders. And that starts off in the family, then in the neighborhood. You have to have community leaders. I think it was you, Saeed, yesterday, you said it. The community people, the Black people need to build their community and put pressure on the government. So they need community leaders. Black mayors, for example, this is what Saeed said, Lerato. Trump, I know Trump was being funny. When he was president, he told the mayor of Chicago, you Black boys are killing each other, but don't worry, we'll help you. We'll send military troops to help solve the problem of Black violence. And the Black leader said no. And she did it because she wanted to spite Trump. But it cost thousands of lives because of her pride. Do you see what I'm saying? So my thing is that we need to look at our Black leaders, like you said, at the community level. Once you get to the level of president and stuff like that, it's too high. You understand what I'm saying? We need better leaders. And this goes back to where I said we don't have activists. We thought that Obama was an activist. He wasn't. Last thought, Lerato, then we'll go to Saeed.
I think that I think I'm a little bit hopeful about that the spirit of activism might be awakened by people seeing that all these powerful people at the top don't care about people on the ground.
Oh yeah, they don't.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, it's not something to be so hopeful about, but I think that'll awaken people.
Well, here's my prediction.
Political reality.
So what I would like to see is, I would like to see the Green Party in the U.S. and the Black Lives Matter and the LGBTQ. I'd like to see them form a coalition, because the Green Party's manifesto is actually social justice. You know that. Jill Stein, she continues running. People think that the Green Party is only about the environment. No, they look at it holistically. In fact, to me, the Green Party is voodoo, because they're the Green Party, so they believe in sustainability of the world. But their first thing is social justice and social democracy. That's their platform. But nobody talks about the Green Party. Stein has been running.
America into BRICS and the 21st
but I think
century.
I think they need to coalesce with Black Lives Matter and with the LGBTQ identity and politics. So identity and race and social justice need to become one. And also they need to be tolerant of people who have different value systems. If some people are against abortion or if some people are against gay, no problem. So long as every citizen has rights. You see what I'm saying, Lerato? Yeah. But we'll see what happens, because I think the Green Party, I'm going to join the Green Party. I'm going to join the Green Party. So let's go to Saeed and then we'll go to Kunle. Very good show, guys. This has been about an hour. Whenever Lerato's on, our shows are long. Lerato, you can do like a 5-minute, you do 5-minute solos sometimes, which is a good thing. I'm making fun of Lerato, but Lerato is like a philosopher, so he brings in a lot of content. What are your thoughts?
Yeah.
And also Saeed too. Yeah, Saeed, what are your thoughts?
It looks like Saeed is still muted though.
Oh, Saeed, you're muted. You got to take it off mute, or we'll go to Kunle. Saeed, you have 2 seconds, Saeed.
The Muslim society in America that's very large is not really pro-LGBTQ. and the Arab society, the Michigans, that
but to me they have. Here's my thing. This is America. They have to get used to it. But what I don't want is for the LGBTQ and those people to impose their values on everybody else. For example, I don't believe men and women should be in the same toilet together, or you should be able to be a man and compete against female. That's taking it too far. But if you're 18 years old and you want to have sex change, you should be able to do it. So I think there needs to be tolerance on both sides. Go ahead. What do you think, Kunle?
Yeah. There needs to be a balance of reason, and you cannot force people to accept something that is not real. You know, we need to learn the etiquette.
Yeah, but let me ask you a question. How is abortion or LGBTQ hurting a Muslim person? They can still practice their own freedom. How is it hurting them?
The problem of gender identity. I mean, we're rather backward about it on the continent of Africa because we're not used to seeing.
Yeah, but let's make it quick. How is it a problem? For example, how is gender identity a problem for you in your personal life?
In my personal life, it's zero because everybody's trying to eat food. Nobody has money to pay for gender change.
Yeah. Zero.
You know, that's one of the problems. The decadence of too much money. Having too much money on your hands means you do stuff like that. Because if
so sorry to confront you. So what you're saying is that the LGBTQ and identity movement is taking up too much space, and we're not focused on the economy. I agree. Continue.
There's too much money in the West. That money, if it was spread around the world,
it's a distraction. It's a distraction.
They wouldn't be bored and be destroying their bodies before as children. It's so sad.
You're right. Hold on, somebody's calling now. Let me not tell them. Somebody keeps on texting me. Okay, go ahead. Yeah, no, you're right. So that focus, I think the problem is that the identity movement hijacked the American economy, but it was a ruse. It was a ruse to hide the problems with what they're doing with Palestine and other people. What do you think, Loretta?
You go to school, wear makeup. The next day he comes back and they've transgendered him.
I agree with you on that one. What do you think, Loretta?
I do think what Kunle said about identity politics coming into the fore once you've reached a certain
to be honest, right now in Africa, we're worried about bread. We're not worried.
We're not really. We're not. We're not really want to comment on it because we don't live with that. So we don't really know how to deal with it. And it's new to modern society.
That's who's here. So we have to worry about gender and sexuality. That's, to be honest.
Yeah, it's new. So they're just learning. We don't know anything. I'm not going to go and figure it out. I'll just watch them and see what happens there. Maybe one day when we have money and we have enough transgender society, you can ask me that question. But for now, for me, it's like watching the telly. They're not real because you don't see them in Africa, especially not Western Africa. You might see gay people, but not that sort of thing.
Okay,
yeah. So that's what I was going to say.
Okay, we're back. I was out. So what did I miss? Yeah.
I finished.
I took off my hat. I look terrible without my sunglasses. Let me put them back on.
Yeah, so I was going to say that you might see gay people in Western Africa, but you're not going to see transgender population because nobody can afford to do that surgery in such
the surgery on the surgery. I think Lerato in South Africa is free, right? Is it free for medical? Because I know South Africa has a lot of transgender guys who look exactly like us. I don't wonder how they pay for it because there's a lot of black people who do that. Is it free by the government or what? Yeah, the hormones and everything.
No. I think you'd have to pay for it.
I can't imagine how somebody would pay that much money and then you're still living in a neighborhood in which there's crime. So my point being is there's no problem in changing your gender, but you can find money for that, but you can't find money for security. You get my point? Because I've seen a lot of black people in South Africa who do that.
Pay the rent. We don't have time for
and I'm not against it. I'm not against it. But my thing is that you're so passionate about being a female or being a male that you can find the money for that, but you can't find the money to put your kids to a proper school and things. I'm not singling out South Africa. I'm singling out poor people who spend these hundreds of thousands on sexual reassignment and they're poor, but they still find the money for that. It's kind of like a drug addict. When people are doing drugs, they find the money. If I need $5,000 to get cocaine every month, I find it. But if you told me you're going to be evicted from your house, I can't find it. So I think the value systems might be a little bit warped. What do you think, Lerato? Yeah. We're going off topic, but it's okay.
Yeah. I think, like you're saying, it has to do with like value systems, individuation versus community, and things like that. I think I'm more interested in speaking about community and social ideas
Yeah,
and
me too.
politics and policies.
Yeah.
I don't really have a lot to say on people's personal choices.
Yeah. I mean, we can go deeper into that issue of because I personally believe that gender and sex emerge, but I think gender and sex are different concepts.
Yeah, if the
Gender is more of
technology
a
of transgender is new, so
no,
it's not like
gender is more of a psychological thing. For example, you may have a guy who calls himself auntie. That person psychologically has a sort of feminine, what you usually see with females. That's that's a fluidity of the psyche. But to me, there's no debate about sex. Either you're a male or female, or there are some borderline cases. You get my point. And no amount of surgery.
You know,
yeah,
that you
I'm
can
not
be born
against
male or
sexual
female
reassignment, but we haven't come to the
or
point
how
where
you're born, but that's different from when
let
you
me
go
give you a
do
perfect
surgery.
example. There will never be a man. My prediction, I don't know where science will go, but right now there is no man who can menstruate and give birth to children. He can call himself a woman all he wants to. But now, male and female is the sexual terms. Woman and male and man is more of the psychological. So I'll agree. There could be a guy who's very feminine. So I'll say, okay, yeah, you're a woman. But that doesn't mean you're a female. Female is the sexual. So there's that
I even
conflation.
want to have the question, how can it survive against women's rights? Because women's rights are there to protect women from men.
Oh yeah,
so when a man decides I'm a woman, you can't protect yourself.
The word woman is ambiguous. So when you say women's right, what you should really be saying is rights for females. You see what I'm saying, Lorato? For example, Bruce Jenner is not a female, because to be a female, you have to have the anatomy, because female is a biological term. But
well, they will call
man and woman.
Gender.
Yeah, no, but I know gender is not about sex though. Gender is more of a social concept. Yeah, I might be wrong, Lorato. Gender is a social construct. It's not a biological one, right? Yeah.
No, for sure.
Yeah, but sex is not a social construct. Sex is biological. So these guys are trying to revise biology. You can't revise biology, and also they equivocate.
No, come on, say it's ma'am. Okay, sorry, ma'am. You have to.
Let me tell you, man, I'm not getting involved in all that crap. Like now, I just call everybody they. That's poor grammar. Yeah. They are hungry. Only one of them. They are hungry. All right. Okay, we're getting off topic. Is Saeed around? Saeed, are you around? Because if not, we're gonna move on. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, just checking with Afolabi. Afolabi is back.
Okay, so Afolabi, what are your last thoughts? Very good show. An hour and a half almost, or maybe an hour or two. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, so basically, I feel one other area that Trump is going to, all this money that is being spent on clean energy and renewable energy, I think Trump actually favors more traditional energy sources like fossils.
Coal and oil.
I don't think he's going to yes. Because of oil money. He's going to spend
that's just business.
Like the black stuff.
Yeah. He says he's right.
Yes. And then this is Department of Government Efficiency with Vivek Ramaswamy and Elon Musk. It appears those guys are going to help him to cut down on budget and reduce costs a lot and try and drive the economy with technology. That's one area I'm looking forward to as well.
Yeah. I like your view from outside. I like the tree above your head. The connection is better too, right? Yeah.
The network is bad in my office. That's why I stepped out.
He had to leave because he's moonlighting. He's working while working. Yeah. I'm going to send the video to your boss, man. I'm kidding. All right, guys. So let's get out of here because everybody's busy and stuff. So Saeed is out, so he doesn't have anything. Last words. We'll go around the circle. Let's start with Kunle. Yeah.
Everybody, Trump.
No, you can say something. You can say something substantive if you want to. Yeah, Trump. Yeah.
Let's see what's gonna go. He's gonna start deporting on day 1, and on day 2, we're gonna see whether the peace is gonna hold up, and then we're gonna.
That's what I'm watching. I'm waiting to see what's gonna happen in Palestine. Palestine is
important to the world crowd.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. So last
everybody,
Trump. Let's go, Trump. Let's go. Let's kick these guys out of here. I'm just kidding.
Trump.
All right, Lorato, what are your thoughts? Lorato?
Yeah. The last president, like I said, I'm looking forward to how the American empire unfolds and unravels.
Yeah, I am.
Because it seems like that's where it's going.
Yeah, this is going to make for good content for our shows. Yeah.
Yeah, but what is I think what has been interesting leading up to this inauguration is seeing all the rich people gathering around Trump and supporting him.
Look at him.
He was saying that it was very interesting during the during his first presidency that people were not supporting him, and people didn't like him. Now everybody likes him, and he looks very pleased about that. About him.
Yeah, can I say something? Sorry to interrupt. I want to ask your opinion. Do you think that this stuff is planned out 20 years in advance? So you kicked him out now. Now we're gonna Biden is an implant for the Republicans. That the next 4 years are so bad, and your morale is so bad that now you're welcoming him, because the last 4 years in American history were horrible. This Palestine and Russia thing was horrible. What do you think? Yeah.
Well, it seems to me like the agenda of the far, of what they seem to call the far right, is sort of like what gets pushed regardless who is president, right? Like this imperialist agenda is what gets pushed regardless.
Yeah, but I think that they're having to shift now towards a more imperial, like China's an imperialistic country. They have to lessen it and become more BRICS type, where you use soft power. So I think America is going to still be in power, but then Trump represents soft power now. Maybe I'm wrong. What do you think?
I'm not sure about that, because we haven't, in terms of what we've seen him do previously, we haven't seen him sort of strong.
Well, here's what we saw. 4 years, in 4 years when he was in office, there were no conflicts anywhere with the U.S. And also the CIA, they wanted him to go to war with Iran, and he refused. Remember that? So I think Trump is anti-war. I think he's anti-war, not because he's peaceful. He's anti-war because it's not good for business. Go ahead.
I remember him being criticized a lot for being anti-intelligence communities and things like that. Like
he made peace with Iran, and he met with Putin. No, not Iran, with Korea. He met with Putin. So he seems to be a lot more pacifist than Obama and Hillary and George Bush. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah.
No, for sure. And he seems to be less of a fan of war. But it stands to be seen what he will do.
You know what I think he's going to be like? I don't know if you've studied American history. He's going to be the same as Reagan. He's going to be more internal, and he's going to do more damage within the U.S. than outside of the U.S. Reagan brought cocaine into America and put black guys in jail. I think that's what we're getting with Trump. And during Reagan's history, Reagan bombed Gaddafi's house, but he said, I didn't kill Gaddafi. He wasn't as bloodthirsty as Hillary Clinton. He bombed Libya for 2 days just to give them a warning. You can remember that. Whereas with Hillary, you destroy the whole country, and now there's slavery in Libya. Sorry, continue.
I think you're going to. I think Trump and Reagan remind me a lot of each other, because they're both like celebrity presidents. Who come into there with this kind of like populist ideals, and Reagan also came after. I think he came after Carter.
Yeah, after Carter. And Carter was not a very good president, but he was a socialistic president. No, he spent a lot on social programs.
I think the only thing is that it didn't bode well for the capitalist class and the economy.
Oh yeah, they don't want that again.
Which is what made him seem like a bad president.
No, he wasn't bad, because he was spending, but he's not spending as much as they're spending on these stupid wars, which is a waste of money. It's funny how when you're wasting money on killing people, it's okay. But when you're spending money on, like my mom, she went to university and she had her PhD paid for. It was because of Jimmy Carter. When you do that, you're bad because you're spending too much. But when you give money to Israel to kill children, it's okay. And also the money they're spending on Israel alone is more than the whole U.S. budget during Carter's time. You get what I'm saying? Yeah.
Exactly. So we see kind of like the same parallel with Biden wanting to pardon student loan debts and being
then they cut it. They said it's wasteful spending, but it's okay to give Israel money to kill children.
Exactly. So this is where I'm saying you see the agenda of the right being
So we're going to move on.
Regardless of who is presiding.
Our next episode of the Trump, we're going to talk more about JD Vance. Watch out for JD Vance. He's the devil. That guy is, if you think Trump is right wing, you should see have you studied about JD Vance, Larato? He's a very powerful man. Very powerful. The guy is the vice president. And he's part of the alt-right. You know what they call alt-right? Yeah. The alt-right.
In fact, I heard he once criticized Trump.
Yeah, he called Trump a Nazi. So the fact that Trump brings him in shows that Trump had to kowtow to him. JD Vance has his eyes on the presidency in 4 years. And JD Vance, you know what JD Vance said? He said that people who have children should be taxed more because it's irresponsible, that they should just get a pet. That sounds like Nazi. JD Vance is a Nazi. I'm going to say that right now. And I think Trump is old. Trump is not a Nazi. JD Vance is just waiting for Trump to step down. The alt-right movement, and the alt-right movement the alt-right movement is ideological. They don't care about economy. They're purists. JD Vance said, well, I can't be racist because my wife is from India. That type of statement is very insensitive. He basically said, even though people of color suffer, I at least married an Indian person and I'm helping her. He made a statement like that. Can you imagine that? So watch out for those guys.
He's from suffering.
Yeah, he said that she's suffering less. Yeah, and then he said that if you instead of having children, black people and stuff should have pets because it's irresponsible. That sounds terrible. We know that we need to, I do believe that we need to stop having kids. And we knew you have kids, but we need to plan properly. But to come out and make that statement, it sounds like eugenics. Okay, so Afolabi, last thoughts. We'll talk about those things on the next episode of this next week. Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention that Ronald Reagan, too, like you rightly mentioned, was a very strong leader. He supported Mikhail Gorbachev during the collapse of the Soviet Union.
Yeah,
basically.
Gorbachev was his boy. Gorbachev was his bitch. And Larato, do you see the parallels? Like, sorry, Afolabi, Trump says Canada belongs to us. Basically, U.S. said Russia belongs to us when Gorbachev, and that's why they don't like Putin now, because Putin fought back. You see what I'm saying, Larato? Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Continue, Afolabi. Continue. We'll talk more about that next episode. Yeah.
So basically, I think that is really wading into your point that says that there are a lot of parallels between him and Trump, Reagan and Trump.
Reagan, yeah.
And like you said, a lot of black guys are going to be jailed. I believe some of those deported immigrants too, there might just be some Nigerians there, because there are a lot of illegal immigrants there. Some boys from
Naija must go. No, a lot of people are scared. People are hiding in their houses now. Okay. All right. Everything is done. So Kunle, take us out, Kunle. Yeah. No, Kunle is out, I think. Is he out? No, Kunle is muted or something. Okay, so take us out, Afolabi. Yeah, okay.
Okay, it's been a wonderful show, another Trump show. And we wish Donald Trump all the best in his second tenure as president of America. And from myself, Lerato, Said, Kunle, it's bye for now.
You forgot to say president of Canada too. Okay, so
president of Canada and Greenland.
All right, guys. Afolabi, I'll see you later because we're talking about Arsenal today. Later on tonight.
Oh, sure, okay, absolutely.
Okay, bye.
Yeah.
Bye, guys. Thank you, guys. Great show.